A longtime veteran of mixed martial arts, Karo the Heat Parisyan entered the sport at an age when most boys are still collecting baseball cards and playing video games.
I started mixed martial arts when I was 14 in Mexico, illegally, fighting bare knuckle fights with 25-year-old guys. And it was a sport, it was a happening sport, but no one ever really thought that this was going to grow as big as it is today.
Training under renowned judo instructor Karo Parisyan, Parisyan became a sound judoka, went on to capture 6 junior national belts.
Doing judo since I was 9 years old, 18 years I've been in the sports, as long as I remember, man, I was fucking training and fighting, excuse my language. I was training and fighting, you know, and judo got me to this point, man. The training of judo, the techniques, the strength, the aggression, you know, everything I love about it, you know, and it really helped me out. All my life I spent money in judo, all my life I traveled, I won big tournaments, everything was great, but I was like, either it was the Olympic trials, Olympics, or MMA. High-level MMA, like UFC. So I picked the UFC. I said, you know, I got to start making some money, make a living out of it. So that's what I did.
Making his UFC debut at the age of 21, Parisyan brought a wealth of experience with him and earned his first win in the big leagues by submission. Following a loss to Georges St. Pierre, Parisyan would claim the WEC welterweight title and reaffirm himself as a threat in the UFC with wins over top welterweight contenders. But not every mixed martial artist experiences the mainstream glamour of the sport. Behind the scenes, many fighters struggle with the stresses of contracts, medical issues, and financial compensation. At one time known as a durable competitor, Parisyan would experience a breakdown. Shortness of breath, insomnia, and fatigue are just some of the symptoms of anxiety. After testing positive for painkillers in his bout with Dong Hyun Kim at UFC 94, Parisyan would suffer a number of anxiety attacks that would put the Armenian out of action for over a year. Parisyan would hit yet another roadblock after being served with a lifetime suspension from the UFC. In July of 2010, Karo would turn up the heat in the land down under, earning his first submission victory in over 4 years.
It was just me and my personal anxiety and the stuff that really was getting to me. But it was my intention never to score the UFC or Dana. Never at all. I mean, that's my home. Fought there for 7 years, you know.
Taking his first steps onto the road to recovery, the once burned bridge with the UFC seems to have been repaired.
You know, I talked to Dana. The problems was that Dana was hurt because I really hurt him in a certain way because I'm good friends with him. But it's all good, man. Everything's all taken care of. Now it's just all up on me. I got to train, get out there and fight and do my best, and hopefully the outcome is good.
Being given another chance to compete under the Zuffa-owned promotion, Parisyan aims to prove his worth in his preliminary encounter with UFC veteran Dennis Hallman. It's an opportunity to wipe the slate clean, overcome the demons of his past, and prove to the world that he's capable of hanging with today's UFC welterweights.